Hope you're having a very good Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Sunrise Extra. I have been pressed into duty, even though the wonderful Miss Nina Melhoff is here. Chica, you have just been dying with this cold. I know that literally she was having a coughing fit. That's why we weren't on at 7 o'clock. But it's just settling into all these different places.
I feel better. I just sound awful.
I know. I don't even know how she got through our show this morning, like from 4:30 to 7. You are a rock star. So let me start off.
About that.
We'll give your voice a tiny bit of a rest. But we're talking about a couple different things, and one of which is a move by the Trump administration. And basically, we are talking about 700,000 people who are going to be losing food stamps. These are people, though, who are not disabled and don't have children. So they're a very specific group of people. We're going to discuss this, but KGW put together a Connect the Dots that kind of explain the situation.
A new rule will prevent hundreds of thousands of people from getting food stamps in this country. But who will this affect, and why was the change made? Let's connect the dots. First up, what this changes. The new rule forces states to enforce work requirements, requiring adults who don't have children and are not disabled to work at least 20 hours in a week in order to get food assistance. Before, states could waive that requirement in areas with high unemployment. Supporters say with the unemployment rate so low across the country, there is no need for waivers anymore. Still, experts report that the national number doesn't accurately reflect how hard it is for the very poor to find work, especially those who lack education and transportation. This is just one of several rules proposed that would cut eligibility and funding for food stamps.
I just can't believe this wasn't already a thing anymore. I mean, already.
Well, sometimes that is surprising, but I always want to hear the opposite argument, because it does seem like such a no-brainer. Like, why not?
If you're not disabled, you're a relatively young person, and it's 20 hours a week. You don't have kids.
Yes.
If you have, children, it does not affect you. But this goes into effect, what did you say, April 1st?
Yeah, that's what we reported this morning. I don't know. I feel a little out of my depth because, again, it seems like such a no-brainer. But the one thing I know in my life is nothing's ever simple. So I'd just be curious to hear the other side.
Yeah, this has been a big debate all over kind of social media. We have some comments from viewers that we've loaded up. We want to show you. We start with Jason, who says, I don't think this is quite the way to go. I have seen plenty of people abuse food stamps, especially when I worked as a cashier for Walmart. They need to make it more like WIC, which is women, infant, and kids, right? Children, where only certain foods can be bought, not soda, etc. And the person receiving should be having to seek employment like unemployment. Food stamps were never intended to be a lifelong venture. Brenda says most social services were not meant to be a source of lifelong income and support. They agree. It was intended to help people get back on their feet. Others, such as those permanently disabled or elderly, should always be provided assistance. Those just falling on hard times but fully capable of working one or more jobs should really only be allowed a specific amount of benefits.
Yeah, people are like not only posting, but they're posting some really longer, thoughtful things. This is Lynn Jamsgard, and this person says, the homeless get them, though plenty of places want to feed them. What a waste. There are a lot of families that need them.
So it says, NPR says some estimates say the changes could save $5 billion to the U.S. over just 5 years. Brandon's saying it's not a bad thing. If you need
go back, Cameron J.
the help is around, regardless of whether you have food stamps or not. Food stamps should only be temporary. If you can't afford certain luxuries, don't acquire them. Focus on self-sufficiency. Make sacrifices and lift yourself out of the hole. You know what? This is actually like so on topic with that story I've been doing on Stone Soup.
Yeah.
It's that nonprofit restaurant in the Old Town District that's at Broadway and Everett downtown. And they handpick people who want to be in the program, and for 12 weeks they teach them the front of the house of the restaurant industry, so like serving, hostessing, bartending, and back of the house, which is literally like how to cut things correctly and the lingo that you use in the kitchen and how to cook. And then they give you life skills classes of like anger management and ethics training and just counseling services for people who are at risk of homelessness or just coming out of homelessness, because it's giving them real job skills. I was following, you see Lindsay there on a catering gig. She, as far as I know, is not on food stamps. She's been working. She's had 2 jobs. She does get government assistance for her childcare, daycare, and for her apartment that is rental capped. And she was put first on the list for her new apartment because she was going through reunification with her baby son. But it's programs like this that are really, you know, we should be supporting, because it's people learning skills that aren't, I mean, yes, she is heavily reliant on government programs and state money, but to keep her from homelessness, but she's working her booty off,
yeah, she is,
to keep 2 jobs.
But that, just listening to you talk about how many services and how much support she needed.
It's a huge net, yeah.
It is a huge net, and then you really do start to understand how some people, for whatever reason, and I was so impressed with Stone Soup and with Lindsay in particular, but that is labor intensive to treat the whole person, right? And food is a very important component of that. I remember in one of your earlier stories, she did say, I'm not homeless, but I could be very easily.
If one of those pieces falls through.
So it's...
And you know what, like, and I think a lot of people, where you were talking about there's got to be another side to this food stamp situation, because you think like, well, this is like obvious, you know, if you're able to work, you're 18 to 49, you don't have kids, you're not disabled, you should be able to work 20 hours a week at least. So possibly the flip side to that is folks like Lindsay, who, you know, maybe you have a felony or you have some sort of, you know, charge on your record, or in her case, which she does. She has several felonies, which she openly, you know, has shared with us. But she also has child custody and divorce proceedings where you have to be at court at whatever time the court tells you you need to be in, which is business hours. So you either have to tell your job, okay, sorry, I have like a bunch of court dates coming up. So are you going to get fired from your job because you're missing your job, or do you not show up to court? And either way, it's a big...
Is there no paper trail process where you can go, well, these are the 6 jobs like an unemployment, supposedly you're supposed to, I've been on unemployment, so I'm speaking from experience, but you know, you have to submit that you are actively looking for work. So I would assume that maybe there's not, but I would think there should be something where you can say, well, I applied for these 5 jobs, but none of these fit I couldn't do these 5 jobs I applied for because of issues that you just mentioned.
And I think it's hard. You either have to, you know, be going into a job and just be completely upfront at the beginning and be like, here, listen, I am going to have this whole court thing play out over the next however long year. And so I'm just going to have to tell you every once in a while, like, I just can't show up to work for 4 hours or whatever to get to and from. Well, and that's a hard, you know, like a employer, it's going to be hard to hire someone.
I just want to get you guys in because I was kind of late to the stream this morning. But this is interesting. Joey Stockert says, I'm disabled and it does not affect me, but many people are working poor and need food stamps, but they don't qualify. So they are working, but...
He's saying that the financial bar is set too high. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, I'm not putting words in his mouth. I'm just telling you.
That's what that sounds like.
So many people
but this new Trump rule would affect people who are already getting food stamps, and nearly 700,000 of them would lose those benefits under this new rule that goes into effect in April of this coming year, where it says you got to get a part-time job if you're able.
So it sounds like there's some gray areas, but we're basically, so just reading those words, it sounds to me like if you are working and you are working poor, you would still be eligible for food stamps.
Yes, unless you're disabled or you have children, and then you're not required to work those 20 hours.
You know, the first thing I thought about when we did that Black Friday story with the record billions that were spent in this country, and you and somebody I talked with in the building, and I said, if we're spending that on Black Friday, nobody should be going hungry in this country.
Right.
And the point's obvious.
Yeah.
Right?
No, totally.
Yeah.
Ryan Moon, good morning. Thank you for being on our stream. He says it should be used by people who need it, like the disabled, elderly, and low-income, hardworking men and women that just scrape by, that have families. But there is a fine line to give it to young, single, able-bodied people that need it or not.
Yeah. And keep in mind, we're also I think it's an historic time, certainly in my lifetime. I've never driven down the road and seen that business begging to hire you, that business begging to hire you, that business begging to hire you. So my point is, if there was ever a time in the past 20, 30, 40 years where you could get a job, this is it.
Right.
So Donna Ortiz says, just so you know, I worked my whole life and now I'm 70 on Social Security and I can't get any food stamps. So now I'm trying to find a part-time job to help get food and medicine. Boy, that's a tough situation.
So
absolutely.
Well, it sounds to me like there needs to be some fine tuning to this if that's a situation. If you're a senior and you're on your fixed income of Social Security, which we all know ain't much, that there should be a path for you to be eligible for that.
Right.
I would think.
This working provision only applies to people 18 to 49. To work 20 hours a day, and I know I was listening to Lars Larson yesterday.
20 hours a day. You're a slave driver.
Sorry, yeah, 20 hours a week. But yeah, I mean, even, you know, I listened to Lars Larson on the way home. It's very interesting kind of talk to hear both sides, and he invites on naysayers. I mean, you know, take it for what it's worth. Whatever, you know, whatever side you're on. But he was having, you know, people who were initially against this idea call in, and they were like, actually, you know, this sounds fair. I mean, 20 hours is a part-time job. I don't know.
I think I have my pulse on America enough to know that if you're able to work, and there are many jobs, which there are right now, you got to be working. Period. Okay. End of story.
Do we have any more comments?
We've got tons of comments. I mean, I could just like go on and on and on and on. Let me see. Let's see. Charlie Lee Olson. My gosh, you guys are just posting. It's bumping my things. Okay. My husband lost his job. I am disabled, and we live with his 81-year-old mom. This is how we eat. We don't have a way to buy food. If this is gone, we are toast.
This doesn't impact.
So, but she says she has kids?
No. What is this? Let me see. I'm reading this in real time. So he is 81 and finding a job at his age is truly becoming hard. He lost his job after 15 years of driving. Yeah. And Christmas this year will be nothing. This sucks.
But this sounds like this doesn't impact them.
I don't think it would.
Again, 18 to 49.
No, but you know what? People are weighing in with all kinds of stories. It's not literally just on topic.
Okay.
I mean, they have all kinds of different ones. Jenny says, I always made sure my children had food. And now I have an eating disorder. Girl, I'm sorry about that. Good grief. Let's see. And then Charles White is making a point. He says you have some people who get food stamps and then trade them in for cash. Oh. Can you do that?
Well, I mean, I think we've all seen the abuse of food stamps at the grocery store line. I think that's a gimme.
Right. Yeah. That's what some people were saying on Instagram, too.
And Carol says, I work 20 hours a week, still hard. Can you elaborate just a little bit about kind of what that point is and what you mean by still hard, just to make ends meet, perhaps?
Okay. Well, this should be interesting. I don't know.
Troy says self-sufficiency is becoming non-existent. It's become the common norm to expect everything for free. That's what he says.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a hard topic.
Yeah, it is.
To talk about.
Well, I think the bottom line is if you're not able to work, I would like to think most Americans would like to support programs that give you what you need.
Sure.
And if you are able to work, I would like to think most Americans think you ought to get your butt out there and work.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were talking about that Stone Soup program. That's what I just think is so cool. Is like it's just a husband and wife who have restaurant experience, and the wife has worked for a lot of aid organizations and Peace Corps and stuff, and so she's kind of that side, and they're just tackling it head on of like let's give people job skills instead of just free money.
And then she I love these programs. We need so many more, but I think we've built a lot of housing units in the last decade in this city that are tied to those programs where if you work, you pay a percentage of your income for your rent. And if you make, let's just say you only make $10 a month and your rent is $2. Yeah. Or $1, whatever it would be, with the percentage fixed. But we need so much more of that. Because the fact is, you can work 40 hours a week and have a family and not be able to afford to go to the grocery store.
Let me
It's a big problem.
let me read this from Carrie Hernandez. Good morning. She says, my husband and I both make $13 and $14 an hour, and we work full time. According to the government, we make too much money to get food stamps. We are low income and still have children at home. We will have no Christmas this year.
See, if that's true, and I'm assuming it is true. They sound very honest and truthful people. Then that's a big problem that should, in my opinion, needs to be dealt with, and they need to adjust whatever the guidelines are. Because if you're working and you can't afford to go to the grocery store and feed your kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what
that's just, that's not the American dream right there.
Well, no. No, it's not. And a lot of people, I mean, this feed really brings it home that there are so many people out there who are hurting and are working and are trying. And that's what's infuriating, people who are trying to do the right thing. And the job that they go to doesn't provide them, or the city that they live in. I mean, it's brutal. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and then you spend so much time commuting or on gas to get there. You know, you have to live far out.
Place.
Yeah. Okay, our other big topic this morning, boy, it's already 7:18, robocalls. So there was a new federal bill, it is still a bill, it's not a law, that passed through the House and is now on to the Senate, but President Trump is expected to support it if it gets to the Senate. That would make all cell phone carriers tell you, like, hey, this is a scam call, and let you block it after you receive a phone call. So we were asking for fun. Do you even answer the phone if you don't know the number anymore?
I don't.
No.
Yeah, most people
we used to always, right? Because you're like, oh, I don't want to miss
Somebody's calling me.
something.
Whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, you just let it go to voicemail.
Yeah, why would you?
I know, because I've gotten, either that or it's the Red Cross.
The Red Cross? Calls you?
They call me constantly.
That's
from
'cause you
different
donated
numbers.
blood.
They're smart. I donated blood. But
you're
boy,
on the
when
Once
those
you
like
get on the
6
list,
or 8
you're on the
weeks
list.
are up, like, oh, they are on you.
And I don't want to sound like a horrible person, but I do dislike that. You do one nice thing, and now you're tagged for life on the annoyance.
And they switch numbers
of their
all the
marketing
time.
calls, and that is annoying. I gave to the firefighters once. I swear to God, this is a horrible thing for me to say. I'll never do it again because it took me
Rodney!
5. But in fairness, they called and pestered me at the same level of the most annoying marketing company would do. And they did this for about 5 years, and I begged them and begged them and begged them to get off of the list. It's a horrible tactic. I get that you need money, but you need a different tactic.
I didn't even
because
know
I'm the person that will never give to them again, because I felt like I was pestered for 5 years.
Wow. Is that District 6?
Well, it makes me angry because I feel like I did a nice thing, and that's my payback.
Yeah.
That's not right. You need to find a different tactic.
You get on the list and
I just got on the do not call list like last week.
Did you?
Finally. I don't know why. We had some story about it.
We
the
had
do not
some
call registry.
The one I liked from, was it last week? They all blend together.
Yeah.
Is where you could actually get some money by
That's what it was.
Is that
what? Well, not because I'm. That was a very convoluted thing of you have to get on the phone with these scammers and kind of write down their phone number and all that stuff, and then threaten to sue them.
But like $500
and then they'll settle
a pop.
with you for $500
or $1,500.
Whatever. I got on the do not call registry. You can put 3 phone numbers on there, and they'll email you, and you just click confirm, and that's it.
And
I actually have not gotten one since.
So that worked for you.
So it worked.
Good
it
news.
won't last long, girl. I'm totally cynical.
They'll find me.
But I do hate that we can't answer the phone now, because there are those times where it was like I mentioned earlier, the doctor's office called to confirm something yesterday. So this makes me sound like a really lazy, horrible person, but it is a pain because I was right there. I didn't answer it because I didn't know the number. Now I got to take the time to go into the voicemail. Oh, it is somebody I need to call back. And now I got to call them back.
The problem is that
but it's taking my phone away from me.
It's a good live number. You answer that, and then that triggers the scammers to go, okay, this is a hot number. But you know what? If I am expecting a phone call and I'm not exactly sure of the number, I will answer it and then just hang up. Otherwise, you better leave a number because we will not be talking.
Jay, there's the and maybe producer Celeste. Is it do not call registry.gov, Celeste?
It's probably easy to.
She's looking at
to Google, I would think, but
There's a shorter.
Well, if this works, if the feds can actually do something that works, that'd be fantastic.
Jeff Lucas is on the stream this morning. Good morning, Jeff. He says, but the numbers I get calls from are local and real numbers, so I'm afraid to block them just in case a real person calls.
That's right. They can make it seem like it's your neighbor
because they can make it look like it. We are watching you guys on YouTube. Thank you for everyone watching us on YouTube. Cascade Ducell says, the do not call list didn't work for me. I still get 4 to 5 calls a day, and I've been on the list for years. Do it again. I swear, it says, go to donotcall.gov right there you see on your screen, and you can enter up to 3 phone numbers with 1 email address. Then you'll get a link to confirm it. Just do it again. Try it.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, like re-up it.
Rob St. Helen, good morning. He said, so with you, Rod. So I think he was talking about the firefighters and just people calling.
Maybe he's just supporting. Maybe he's just supporting my forecast.
Or the Red Cross. What is the forecast for today? Speaking of
increasing sun, 52. Yeah, another nice day. Needed rain.
Jeez. Wow. Okay, pretty nice. You guys, I am going to go shut up for a while now today. Thank you for watching. Sorry you have to listen to this, and have a wonderful Thursday.
Well.